Hey Karun, how are you?
Hi Arun, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good to see. സുഖമാണോ കരുൺ?
Sugam.
എങ്ങനെ കാര്യം?
കാര്യങ്ങൾ quiet ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്, quarantined at home.
എനിക്ക് ഫസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഒരു സംശയമുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങളത് മലയാളം ഒരുപാട് ബെറ്റർ ആയിട്ടുണ്ടാ അല്ല നിങ്ങളത് കന്നഡ ആ, വളരെ ഫ്ലുവൻ്റാ?
ಎರಡು കുറച്ച് അറിയാം.
That's nicely put. But you've actually spent all your time in Bangalore, right? You're one of those Bangalore days Mallu boys who has grown up in Bangalore. And what's the best part of being a Malayali in Bangalore?
Yeah, I have grown up in Bangalore. I was born in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and then moved to Bangalore very soon after. So the best part about being Mallu in Bangalore, I think Bangalore is a um, you know a city where you find a lot of cultures and a mix of culture. So it's amazing to meet new people. It's not you find a variety of people and you find variety of things to do in Bangalore. So that's the best part of being a Mallu in Bangalore. And you also find a lot of Kerala cuisine.
Absolutely. I think that's the best part. I guess some of my best Onam memories are actually in Bangalore and especially in Indranagar, which almost seems like a mini Cochin, so to say.
Yeah, it is.
And
Indranagar is a spot where you can find like I said, Indranagar is one of those spots in Bangalore where you find a lot of different cuisines and a lot of different restaurants. So Mallu restaurants are easy to find anywhere.
Obviously. And when you were actually born, you were this prematurely born baby, right? So you were probably asked not to put too much stress on your body early on. Then how did all this sporting pursuit happen?
You're right, but the thing is, I think my parents were asked to put me into some kind of sports so that the
Okay.
lungs develop and grow into being normal. So at first, my parents went through a lot of struggle trying to do things with me where they I used to lose breath at certain points of time, and they used to hit my back to bring me back into I can't explain what they used to do, but they used to
Okay.
they used to give me a rap on the back, and
Right.
yeah, then the doctor said, I need to be doing some physical activity so that the lungs grow faster and become normal.
That actually does sound a little scary. What was it for you growing up? Did you look at it as a necessary thing for you to, just keep doing so that your health is in decent order? Or did you really enjoy what you were doing?
Not really. I don't. By the time I realized what was happening, I don't think I remember what had already happened. It was at a very young age, and by the time I
Right.
was old enough to understand things that were happening. I didn't know about all this, and my parents never told me about it. Also, that I have such a problem. So I was just being a normal kid on the road playing cricket, and that's how it started.
Your mom, I believe, is a school teacher, of course. And your dad also had some role to play, right, as an engineer in the installation of the sprinkler systems in KSCA. What was your upbringing like? Were they strict? Who was the stricter of the two? Who was the more, malleable of the two who would probably just let you get away with a few shaitani things?
My mom actually didn't want me to play on the road because she thought it was dangerous, and
Right.
uh, both my parents saw that I was so keen on playing the game that they decided to put me in a academy. And if I had to get away with things, it was with my dad. I think my mom used to always catch me for all the wrong things I did, and she was very strict when I was
Right.
young, and she was very although she wanted me to go to a camp and start playing cricket, she also wanted me to complete my studies and do well in studies as well. So that was her part. Like the studies was her part, and taking me to the ground and making sure that I practice and all was my dad's part. So both of them used to do their parts, and um, they were my mom, like I said, my mom was a stricter one, and my dad used to
Right.
make sure I got up in the morning to go for practice. Those there are days when you're young that you don't want to wake up early in the morning, but my dad used to make sure that I woke up and slept early on time, and then wake up for practice.
I remember right after the time that you secured your Delhi Daredevils contract, which was this fat IPL contract, I asked you if there was going to be any party at home. And then your response with a straight face was conservative family. Yeah. Is that the same case even today?
Very much, we've remained the same, very conservative middle class family, and whatever happens and uh, whatever things that we are fortunate enough to get and we are lucky enough to get so far, just you know be grateful to the game and grateful to everyone that has supported you throughout, and not let that get into your head, and just keep working hard as you've always done.
Absolutely. And KL Rahul has been a friend of yours for a really long time. Do you remember the first time you met him? Where and how?
I think it was a very long time ago. I think we must have been 11 years old, I think. We were probably playing against each other in one of these zonal games, Bangalore versus Mangalore, and that's the first time I actually heard of him, and then soon after, I think a year later, we were part of the state team, and that's when we started to get to know each other, and that's so we've been friends for a long time. We've been friends for like 16 years, I think, if you do the math. Well,
Yeah. Did you guys hit it off right from the start, right from the get-go? Did you find something, mutually interesting that you just thought you are like naturally meant to be friends?
see, when you're so young and you meet people, and when you're 12 years old, it's you become friends naturally. You don't have any
Right.
egos or anything at that point of time. You just want to enjoy the game. You're traveling together to a certain place. You're playing the game you love the most, and you're playing with 15 other people, and you're just enjoying, and you're enjoying everyone's company. And so that time we all started together. Mayank was in the same team. Rahul was in the same team. So I think
Right.
we've known each other for so long that the bond keeps just growing with every year that we pass by.
There is this fantastic generation of Karnataka batsmen that includes you, of course, KL, Manish, Mayank as well. All of you are more or less of the same age, and it also at least appears from the outside that you have got a fantastic off-field bonding that's going on as well. Is that one of the reasons why you think Karnataka has been doing as well as it has been? I sense a cheeky smile there.
Yeah, I think because for the past, I think the reason we've done Karnataka has done really well is, first of all, the association provides so many facilities to youngsters to follow their dreams and follow what they want to become, and there's so much around you that you cannot with so much around you, so that you just have to work hard and then put in your work, and then everything is a process, and it's step by step. And I think credit should go to the Karnataka State Cricket Association, first of all, for giving us the opportunities and the facilities and the stage for people to come up. And we've been, I think, our generation has been lucky to be born in a time where the facilities are great, and we've had a lot of opportunities, and like you said, we've grown up together. So, and the best part was we all got into the Ranji team at almost the same point of time, and all of us were doing really well in the age group level. And if I look back, we were really hungry to all of us were really hungry to go to the next level and do well in the next level. It wasn't that we just wanted to play Ranji Trophy, and it was like a group coming in to play to play the highest level, to play for India, and actually having the talent to play for India. So it
Absolutely.
all bonded really well at that stage, and it still is. We have a great bunch of guys and who all want to play the highest level, and I think all are talented enough to play the highest level. So it's just about us playing to our potential on the day, and then we all have seen that we can beat any team in the country. So we've been dominating for the last 10 years. And I think with the group of guys we're so young still. we can,
Yeah.
we can really do well in the future as well.
Absolutely, no two ways about that. Also, what are your earliest memories of watching a cricket match? I mean, the first cricket match that comes to your memory.
I think the earliest what I can remember of is the matches in Sharjah. I
Right,
think
the
when
Desert
Sachin scored
Storm.
those, yeah, the Desert Storm matches, and when Sachin was, hitting everything out of the park against Australia. I think even Zimbabwe was involved in that
Yeah,
series. So I think that was the earliest memory, and that's when I still remember. I used to only watch Sachin play. I didn't want to watch
right.
anyone else. If Sachin got out, the TV would be off, and I would go to sleep. Um, so, and I used to do everything that he used to do. So that's how it started. The cricket for me, cricket started by watching him and trying to do things the way he did. So he was my inspiration at first when I actually started understanding the game and watching the game. I used to only try and do what he did on the ground, and whatever techniques he had or the way it looked on TV. I used to try and copy it. Be it the stance, be it the back lift, and be it anything. So I think that's where my cricket started.
Another person that's been pivotal in your development is, of course, Rahul Dravid. I remember seeing that photograph of yours as this chubby little kid on Instagram, posing next to Rahul Dravid when you were probably 9 or 10, and then just cutting to when you're in your 20s and you're playing under Rahul Dravid's mentorship, under his coaching and counsel. I mean, it looks very surreal from outside. How has the whole journey for you been, and in terms of having Rahul Dravid to have your back every single time?
I think the first memory of me meeting him was when I think I was 14 or 13.
Right,
I was part of the under 15 NCA, and
right,
also at that time I done really well in the the matches that happened in Bangalore, like the under 19 selection games. When I was 14 itself, I was doing really well in the under 19 selection games, and
right.
also there's this what's it called, the Timapaya Trophy that
Yeah,
Karnataka State Association organizes. So I did well in a couple of games of those matches as well, and then I was asked to come for practice of the Ranji Trophy team. So
okay,
I went. I was asked to go there to attend the practice, and I was given batting also in that net session. And
right,
Rahul Dravid happened to be there watching that net session, and he saw me bat. And then after the net session, he called me over, and he spoke to me for some time. He said he encouraged me. He said what he saw, and then he also gave me a bat on that day. I still
right.
remember he gave me a BDM bat. Um, Being a 14-year-old to receive a bat from Rahul Dravid, was amazing, and that's my first memory of meeting him. And then it's then the next thing I know is I'm playing in an IPL team where he's the coach, and again he had the faith in me to select me in that team and then give me a chance also to play in
Yeah.
the IPL. So that's when I really actually got to know him. Like I spent 2 months with him, and asked him a lot of things, like how he went about his cricket and how the things he did. And then also just by looking at a person, you can learn so much, that how they work and how their work ethics are. And I learned so much, and from then on, I've been part of his IPL team for 4 years after that. And then
Yeah.
he was a coach of India A, and I was part of the India A squad also. So it's been a very good relationship that I've had with him, and he's always supported me, and he's always backed me in any situation that I've been under. He's always told me, just go and express yourself and be yourself out there.
You've spoken about learning things from just watching him. Any particular thing that stands out for you that you've picked up, just by observing him go about things?
Like I said, the work ethic that he has,
Right.
even as a coach, the
Mm.
focus and the focus on practice, and on quality practice, not the quantity part of it. Like he always focuses on quality practice. He always believes in making sure that you do things right in practice first, and then it follows in the match. So that's one thing that I have always learned from him is the work ethics that he's had.
And also, have you basically sought him out during the time that you've been out of the India side, and in the last year and a half or a bit? Have you tried and sought him out, just for advice, just for counsel? What have your conversations been like?
See, he's always available at the NCA, and we being in Bangalore, we are lucky to have such a facility in Bangalore, and
Yeah.
He's there daily. You can walk up to him anytime and speak to him about any problems you have, and there's been so many occasions where I practice in the same ground, in the KSAB ground, that he walks up and he if he notices some things, he walks up and tells me what he noticed, and we have a chat right there then and correct the things that I have to, and that's just been the case over the last few years. There's been times, yes, I've walked up to him and told him whatever I felt, and he just said, you need to let the bat do the talking, and nothing else matters. That's it. It's just been very simple, very short, to the point, and always focusing on yourself and not others.
Both as far as your general life outside of cricket is concerned, as well as your cricketing career is concerned, who's your go-to person for advice or suggestion when you feel that you're probably a little low, not in the best frame of mind?
Generally, when I need to talk to someone, I go to my coach, PV Shashikant sir. He in the last few years, I've gone up to him a few times, and we have actually worked. Whenever we have had pre-season, we have worked together. We have worked very hard at our batting, and like I said, also whenever I'm practicing at the KSA,
Right.
I always go up to Rahul Dravid and ask him. So even if you're not doing well in Ranji Trophy, you still have to go back to the KSAB ground and practice. So that's,
Yeah.
if you're not doing well in some games, he's there every day. So I always go up to him, or he always, if he sees something wrong, he always tells me whatever is wrong with me.
I see K. Gautam pop up. So he's asking who your go-to bowler is. But before that, I must tell you that a couple of days when Gautam was on this live, he did actually say that you are one of the you're one of the cleverest ledgers in the Karnataka side. Is that true?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm the cleverest or anything. It's just that you need to do what you need to do to win games of cricket.
Just as an extension to that question, I mean, all we see of Karun is this very studious-looking, goody, like very prim and proper boy. Like, but beneath all that exterior, is there a streak of mischief that's hidden somewhere?
I think everyone has that side to them. It's just about how many people show it, how far they go to show it. But so I've been really maybe smart enough to show it only at the right times, and
Right.
show it very subtly, to do things very subtly, so that you don't get into unnecessary trouble, and make sure you do things right, and also do things so that it works for the team and works well for the team.
I remember that your father and your mother were present at the Chepauk when you made that historic triple hundred. And I remember, obviously, they were filled with pride and they were completely mobbed by the press. Is that a memory that they keep talking about a lot at home?
Not really. I think yes, they got mobbed, and for that moment, they didn't know what to do, and they didn't know where they're at, and my mom actually wanted to just run away back home. She didn't want to stay there any longer. So that was the mob that she was under, and but not really. They don't talk about it much. We don't talk about things like that at all, because I don't think um, there's much to talk about it, unless like things like these interviews happen, and when we talk about this now my mom might just call me up and say, uh, like she's thought about that moment and whatever happened and all that. Yeah.
Is that triple century question, which is almost inevitable, right? For the last 4 years, I think there hasn't been a single interview that you've been allowed to get away from the triple century question. Does that question become a little tiresome after a point?
See, I've realized that it's not gonna leave me for life. It's gonna stay with me for life. So and it's something that I'm proud of.
Right.
It's not everyone that scores a triple century, and really proud to be able to say that I've done it. And yeah. So like you said, it doesn't. I've accepted that it's going to come back, and it's going to keep coming back, and it's going to be talked about, and it's always going to be asked to me about. So there's no ill feeling for me at all. It's just that I'm very proud to be knowing to myself that I have done it and I can do it again. If I can do it twice, then I can do it again as well.
Whose idea was it to get the 303 embossed on your Ford Mustang license plate?
It was, I think I don't remember clearly, but I think it was my idea only, because I wanted it. It's something that it just strikes your mind, and you just want to do it, and at that moment you do it, and then there's no going back, and I wouldn't want to go back and change things that I've done at all. I have no regrets at all, and I don't see anything wrong in doing what I did, and
absolutely,
it's obviously things that you cherish, and I'm really happy about it.
Absolutely. And the one incident that I also remember, just after the 303 you scored, I think you were in Kerala at your hometown to attend one of these temple festivals when 6 people actually drowned in a boat accident, and you just I mean at that time the report said that you were just lucky to escape by a cat's whisker and all that. Did that incident kind of make you revisit the way you just approach life, approach things in general?
It was before, actually. It was before my test debut and everything. So
correct.
I was given a second chance at life, and really sad moment, that because we lost. There were 2 people lost their lives, and one of them were really related to me, and really a sad moment for the family and everything. So, but yes, it did give me a sense of looking at life at different angles, and to know that how fortunate we are to have the things that we have, and to be given the life that we have been given. Not many people can be given this kind of life, and really made me look at myself and what I have very differently, and very grateful to everything that I have.
Does that thought kind of help you when you're probably ruining the fact that you were dropped from the India side three test matches after you scored your 100? Does that kind of help you reconcile with these setbacks in your career?
Yeah, see, there are only certain things that are in your control, and selection is not in your control. It's just the way it is. You just need to do whenever you get the opportunity. You just need to make sure the bat does the talking, and nothing else is in your control. So I don't think about it too much at all, and everyone goes through these stages, and there's so many people who have come back through these stages stronger than ever, and just biding my time and waiting for the opportunity.
I'm sure it's going to come knocking on your door sooner than later. Another critical aspect in your development has been your IPL stints, right? I mean, right from Royal Challengers to Rajasthan Royals to Delhi Daredevils. Of course, in the last 2 franchises that I mentioned, you had Rahul Dravid's mentorship as well. And now, of course, with Kings 11 Punjab. So across this whole journey of IPL franchises. What's the biggest learning been for you at different phases of IPL?
I think every team that I've been to has posed a different challenge and posed a lot of challenging situations to me, and I think I've given my best in all the situations that I've been faced with, and I think I've done really well in all situations, except for when I played for RCB. I think I got two opportunities and I didn't do too well, and then didn't get any more opportunities. And then the next opportunity came, and I was with Rajasthan Royals, and that time I was really determined to not let go of that again. And what I didn't want what happened with RCB to happen again with RR. So
Right.
I was really determined, and by then, I had also played a couple of years of first class cricket, and that actually really helped me to understand my game better. Like I said, every team that I've been to, every season has been a different challenge and faced with different situations, and I've batted everywhere in the batting order, like be from opening to number 3 to number 4 to number 5 to number 6.
Yeah.
I've batted number 7 also at certain situations. So it's always been a different challenge and things to learn, different experiences every year. So I'm very grateful to the opportunities that I've had, and I'm really proud of the things that I've done in the IPL, and I'm looking forward to doing more of it and contributing to winning more games for the team, and hopefully winning an IPL title soon.
Absolutely. There is one particular drill of yours that I very vividly remember while at Delhi Daredevils. You got Rahul Dravid to, just roll the ball slowly, and then you would just put your whole body weight through the ball, trying to pack a punch while you were hitting your shots. Are there other quirky drills that you kind of rely on to, stay ahead of the game?
Not really. I think all batsmen have things that they go to when they're doing well. They want to keep repeating the things that they have been doing each game. So that was just something that I was doing well at that moment, and I wanted to keep doing the same things over and over again, so that I got into the same zone, same mindset. So it was things like that. You just find things that happen when you do well, and then you want to keep that with you, and you want to keep repeating that over and over again, so that it becomes a habit. And that drill was just one of those instances where I wanted to repeat what was working for me and what was helping me get into that zone.
Right. Kings 11 Punjab, for all the right reasons, has also been called Kings 11 Karnataka, given the sheer number of Karnataka players in the side. And now you have got Anil Kumble as well, right at the top. Have you had a chance to strike up a conversation with him, like right before the lockdown happened? I mean, when the auction, the squads were all finalized.
Yeah, I think as soon as he was announced as the coach, I think he made it a point to speak to every player. So he did speak to me, and he did speak to me about how things were going with me, and what he expected of me to be working on, and what he thought that my role might be in Kings 11 from moving forward and all that. So it was nice to catch up with him after some time, and he's someone that you can go up to and speak to any time of the day, and give a call to him any time of the day. So really happy to have him in Kings 11 as well.
Is he as strict as he sounds, as his baritone sounds like?
Not really. I think he's a very chill person. He does ask for a lot of focus, and he asks for a lot of determination from his players, and a lot of play to the role kind of players. So he does ask a lot, but he's not very like how he's portrayed to be, and he's very chill. He talks to you normally. He talks to you. He's very. You can walk up to him anytime and speak to him about anything, and he's very he's got a good sense of humor, and he's a very nice person to be around with, and I think we're very glad that we have him in Kings 11 this year, and hopefully we can do well for the team and for ourselves.
One of your closest friends is now the captain of Kings 11 Punjab, but also, I mean, just the kind of to understand the kind of bond that you share. even at the time when you were out of the national side, and he was again establishing himself, and when again he got out of the test side as well. What have your conversations been like? Is he the kind of guy who just call you up to check on you every once in a while and just give you that little bit of a lift? And do you do that as well? How does that work?
Not really. I think we meet so often that we live in a city where you can catch up any time of the day, and we don't live too far away. So
Okay.
it's not like we need to call or speak, and because we see each other so many times in a week itself, so we speak just face to face, and in the stadium we keep seeing bumping into each other in the stadium during practice and all that, and gym sessions and everything. So there's no need for us. I think
It's
the
good to be left
bond
alone
has gone so
sometimes.
deep that also it's like we known each other for so long that even if we
Yeah.
don't speak for a long time, um, there's no disconnect between you.
Correct.
If you know what I mean. So
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
so there's actually there's not never been an instance where one of us have picked up the call and called each other or anything. That because
Right.
we just speak to each other normally face to face when we see.
Right. Karun has also had a lot of changes on the personal front as well. You got married recently, and there is this new adorable member of the family, Theodore, who's also come into your lives. So, how's that side of your life treating you? How is that, centered you as a person?
Marriage has been good. It's something new, something that you know um, I'm getting used to, if you can say, and also having a new member. And I've never been, I've never grown up with pets or anything. So to have a pet at home is something new for me. So I'm gradually getting into it, gradually getting to do,
Right.
getting to know what to do and when to do it. And it's when you're not born around it, or when you're not mm, growing up around it, you kind of stay away more
Yeah.
than you stay with it. So I think
Right.
these last month or so has been different, and I've kind of learned to do things and learned to get closer as well.
കരുണക്ക് മലയാള സിനിമയിൽ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടോ?
മലയാളം സിനിമയിൽ കൂടുതൽ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഇല്ല, but in the last 1 month I have watched a lot of Mallu movies. Not lots, at least a couple of months.
Which are the ones that you liked? I'm assuming that you watched movies like Driving License, Ayyappanam Koshiyum.
No, those are the new ones. I watched the older ones. I watched
Okay.
Bangalore Days, and a couple of them other. I don't remember the names, but I watched the older ones. I'm planning on watching the ones that the ones that you told me of just now. I have it on my watch
Yeah.
list, but it's just
Oh, there's a
getting there.
huge watch list of Malayalam cinema. Of course, in the last 4-5 years, they've come up with some amazing movies. Do you have a favorite actor that you really enjoyed watching as a boy? And do you still have favorite heroes?
Growing up, I liked Mohanlal and Dilip.
Okay.
So right now, I don't have any favorite heroes as such. It's just that, like I said, I haven't watched many Malayalam movies in the recent past. Now, when I've got the time, I've actually gone back and on Amazon Prime or on the different um, platforms that you get to watch. I've actually gone back and watched it. So, looking forward to watch more Mallu movies in the future.
Absolutely. And just a little while ago, Yuzvendra Chahal popped up, and he just called you Pokemon Kulla Paji. What does that mean? What's the inside track?
I think there was a stage where this game called Pokemon had come out, and
Yeah.
everyone used to take their phones out and go and search of whatever. So I think that's why he refers to me, because I used to play that game with him,
Right.
and walk around with him. So, but Kulla, I have had this name Kulla from the time I started playing cricket, because I was
the height?
short. Yeah, because of the height. But so that name has just stuck with me.
Smriti Sinha has an interesting question. If a biopic was to be made on you, which actor would you like to play your role?
Biopic actor. Probably Saif Ali Khan.
Interesting choice. What's that one good habit that you picked up during these 4-5 weeks of lockdown? Even that could be a tiny accomplishment that you're really proud of.
Good habit. I think I have picked up to learn and how to wash dishes probably. That's something that I learned in wash dishes. So many household things to do I've learned, and also I've also learned how to cook few things now. So those are the things that I'm trying to do in these days, and really enjoying doing them and learning something new and trying to be a better person as well.
Yeah, last couple of questions before we just let you go. You're this huge Manchester United fan, of course. What's the kind of inspiration you derive from non-cricket sports persons, and who are those sports persons that have inspired you? I mean, outside of cricket.
Yes, like you said, I am a Manchester United fan, huge Manchester United fan. The non-cricket sports person that inspires me a lot is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
I've followed him since he joined Manchester United, and it's so it's astonishing to see how someone can grow from being just a normal player to being the best in the world. So.
Right.
And the work that he has put in, and the hard work that he has put in to get to where he is, and the determination and the focus that he has, that if you need to be the best in the world, you need to have something different in you, a different mentality, and it's something that really inspires me every day.
Do you see parallels of Ronaldo in any of the Indian cricketers that you've been privileged to play alongside?
Obviously, there's Virat Kohli, who makes you feel that you want to be following what he's doing, and he does so many things right, and he's also the best in the world. So if he's become the best in the world, that means he's done most things right, and he's just a wonderful player, and he's such an inspiration for cricketers and all youngsters, and to see what he's been able to do in the last 10 years, it's something astonishing, and something that everyone wants to follow and get inspired by. And same with me, been lucky enough to be part of the same dressing room as him, and watch him very closely as well.
Lastly, I mean, it's a competitive scenario, at least as far as the India middle order is concerned. And you are a proven performer, all right. But for you to just break your way back into the side, given the competition, and I'm sure you're going to be talking about your own processes and what you need to do. But realistically, given how difficult it is, what do you think you probably need to do? I mean, aside from all the big runs that you keep scoring, what do you think can actually give you an edge as far as making a comeback is concerned?
I think first and foremost, you need to be consistent in first class cricket, and all the opportunities that you get in the India A level to actually have a chance to make a comeback. And also,
right,
you need to perform in every game that you get, be it Ranji Trophy, be it the India A games, and even the IPL is a great platform to show that you're batting well. And for me, there's nothing much to prove that I can play at the highest level, because I've been there and I've done that, and I've done really I've been able to score a big 100.
Yes.
People have seen I can handle the situations well. So it's just about me being in the right frame of mind, and being consistent in first class cricket and all the opportunities that I get, and I don't see any other difficulties to anything else and then, like I said, selection is not in your control. It's only certain things that you can do, and like I said before, the bat should do the talking, and if that does the talking for me, I think I wouldn't be faced with too many challenges after that. It's just about me going out there and expressing myself, and I'm really confident of once I get that opportunity again, I'm confident that I can cement my place this time.
and go one better and do things that I've done before.
Just as a parting comment, since there's a lot of your fans have been requesting a few words for you to say in Malayalam as well as Kannada, could you just try and string together a sentence for your fans where you can club both the languages together?
I can try.
Please.
Club both the languages together is really tough. You have no idea how tough that is, because
Try Madi Guru.
I've been faced with so many interviews where I've done Mallu interviews on one side, and the next interview I have is a Kannada interview, and jumbled up in between. So to mix the both is little difficult, but I can try. എല്ലാവർക്കും ഭയങ്കര നന്ദി എന്നെ ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുന്നു നിങ്ങൾ. ಕನ್ನಡ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಸೇ ಕನ್ನಡ
ತುಂಬಾ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ. ಗೈಡ್ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. സോ ನಾವು സക്കതായി ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ബാംഗ്ലൂരു ഈവൻ കേരളയിലും നല്ലതായിട്ട് നടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. എല്ലാ കേസസും ತಾಯ പോകുന്നുണ്ട്. ಸೊ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಿ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಮುಗ್ಸೋಣ. ಮನೇಲಿರೋಣ, stay home and stay safe, and hopefully we can come together and come out stronger from this challenging situation that we are under.
കൊള്ളാം, വളരെ നന്നായിട്ടുമുണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെ കമന്റ്. Tumba thanks for all the time that you've given us, Karun. May we always see that broad beaming smile on your face all the time, and I hope that once this lockdown's over, once cricket resumes, we get back to seeing you playing at the highest level for India, and that's something that I'm sure all your fans, all cricket fans across the country would really want to. Pranams to Kaladharan sir, auntie, and of course the rest of your family, and a big hi to Theodore as well. Thank you so much for your time, Karun. It's been a real pleasure actually talking to you.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karun. Thank you so much. Before we sign off, looking forward to meet you in another episode of Home Run with AV.